Good evening,
Hey, there he
Drew.
is. Oh, buddy, you don't
Oh,
sound as enthusiastic. You okay?
oh no, I just it's had about like 15 minutes of panic. Uh so I open up first off, make sure you're recording. Second of all, so I
I
open
am.
up my okay, good.
Was I not
Uh
last time or something?
no, you were. It's just we're flying without a net. Uh
Oh.
so I opened up the tool that I use to record Skype and my microphone, and it popped up this window saying, "Hey, this version of Audio Hijack may not." What does it say? Hold on. It may fail to capture audio from some applications when running on Mac OS 13.1. I'm like, I bet you that's fucking Skype, and it is. Yeah. So I'm recording my end, but I'm not recording. I'm not recording the Skype recording. So if something goes sideways, this recording is just going to go
Oh no.
into the pooper, I guess. But
Well,
meh,
well, from
yeah,
listening to other
yeah,
podcasts that you and I both love, audio hijack can sometimes be a source of stress for
yeah,
podcasters.
yeah.
Is this something that they just haven't fixed for 13.1 yet?
I guess so. Yeah, they say they're going to come out with the new version as soon as possible. But
God, I hope so.
yeah. Oh,
Oh, buddy, I am
yeah.
so full right now.
Big dinner.
Yeah, we had our good friends the Krebses
Oh,
over for
nice.
dinner. We've been trying to get together with them for a couple weeks now, and they have a little baby,
Mm-hmm.
Ren, who is just the cutest thing in the world, and planning things around that can sometimes be hard. And we had gone over to their house for dinner. This was before Thanksgiving at some point. It was like the beginning of November, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And we had been talking about doing another one, and they came over here this time. They brought her over and had a nice dinner and just chilled out. It was nice, because normally we go out Saturday nights to eat, but kind of
Yeah.
staying in and having a super lazy day. Like I slept till like 11 a.m. today.
Nice,
Oh,
nice.
so good. I'm officially in vacation mode because my
Okay.
last day of work was Friday,
Okay.
and it just feels like a little bit of a weight has been lifted. So
Yeah.
I just slept in today, and I knew that we didn't really have to be anywhere tonight. So like I didn't get a shower till like 3:30.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was good, man. It was
Nice.
good.
Nice.
Mandy made
Nice.
Mandy made a great meal. It was good. It was really good.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, you and I have
Um,
a couple quick announcements before we get to the meat of this episode.
mhm. Yeah, I just want to say, like, I know a lot of people listen to this podcast are in IT, and have to deal with backups in some way, shape, or form. So, and this is just a quick little public service announcement. Hey, first of all, test your backups, make sure like your restores work, and also just make sure you're backing up all the stuff you think you're backing up, because when you go to restore something and the backup's not there, it's a bad day. So, that's all I have to say about that.
Wow.
Uh,
Well, it's
just
fu-
yeah,
well,
check your backups.
well,
They're
it's
important.
it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that, right? Because friend of the show, Eric Darling, had reached out to me this week.
Mhm.
Due to some circumstances I won't get into, he was trying to restore a friend's time machine backup.
Oh, okay.
And it was weird. And we were doing this all over text because I was on the phone for work and he wasn't anywhere where I think he could call me, and he wasn't going to have access to this later when I was going to be free. But the basic gist of it was, and tell me how you would approach this, because I believe you use Time Machine, right?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say your computer is gone. Okay.
Okay.
And there's a file you need right now.
Okay.
The way that I understand it is that if you have a Mac and you don't necessarily want to restore the entire Mac from Time Machine, it doesn't matter what Mac I backed up from. I should be able to connect that device or that network location and mount the Time Machine drive and pull a file out. Yes?
Yeah, but Time Machine stores its files in a really, really weird way. Like, I don't think that would work.
Well, here's the thing though. He told me that he got it to work, but
Okay.
apparently the USB hard drive that he was able to see the Time Machine thing,
Uh-huh.
and he was trying to copy it directly from Time Machine to his like USB hard drive, but apparently it wouldn't let him do that until he like formatted his hard drive.
Hmm.
And then he said he got it to work. Now I haven't had a chance to like get into the specifics with him about it, but
Hmm.
it definitely made me think like, let's say I were to pass away.
Mhm.
And Mandy doesn't have Touch ID set up on like my personal machine. She doesn't know all my passwords, and like she has access to the one password shared stuff that we have. But if like there was like a critical file like in my OneDrive for like my business or something, um, and listen, I just need to add that stuff to one password to a vault that she has access to, and then I think it's solved. But if that weren't the case, I just wonder how people would get to that stuff. And
Yeah.
and I worry about that a little bit. What do you use at home for your like hard copy backups? Because I think you use Backblaze too, right?
Yeah, I've yeah. All of the Macs in my house, I use Time Machine to my Synology. I also run Backblaze. Uh and then I also take weekly backups to a like a USB drive using what is it? Carbon copy cloner. But like I just like I can't stress it enough. Like, but Backblaze is so like it's so goddamn inexpensive and easy to use. I think actually now like it's $6 a month instead of $5 a month. No, oh, $7 a month. I mean, inflation, whatever. It just it's so easy,
It really is.
and like if you need an individual file, you can just log on to their web portal and pull it down. Like and I do multiple backups. Like and if my machine like absolutely like borked and I had to get a new one and I wanted to restore stuff, I'd go to my Time Machine backup because that's what it's there for. I also like Time Machine because like at one point I accidentally deleted a file. I was like, oops. And I just launched Time Machine and I
Yeah.
went back a couple of days and there it was and boom, restored it. Like,
Time Machine is exceptionally slick, I gotta say.
yeah, yeah,
Now, my only
yeah.
question for you around that is are you using Time Machines on folders that are Git repositories?
I Time Machine my entire
Okay.
everything goes in Time
Because
Machine.
I know
Yeah,
that
yeah,
sometimes with like Git version histories and things like that, like differential backup tools like OneDrive and Google Drive and things like that can get very, very busy, like syncing
yeah,
files and stuff. I just didn't know.
yeah. And that's why like like yeah, it gets complicated too because yeah, that Git directory is constantly getting individual small files and stuff. But if you give it enough time, everything gets caught up and yeah. And another thing I like about Time Machine, something that people don't necessarily know, even at like so I back everything up to my Synology, but say like I'm out and about doing stuff. Time Machine still runs. If you have space on your hard drive, it'll keep taking file system snapshots as it goes and keep those. And then when you reattach, it'll move all of those to your external storage. So like
Interesting.
even if you delete something on your machine, there's a chance that you have a Time Machine snapshot uh just sitting there on your drive ready to go. So yeah.
Yeah, I I don't take individual backups of any machine in my house. There are certain things like on my PC that I'm on right now that I manually back up from time to time, like things like saved games that aren't on
Yeah.
any folder that are attached to like a cloud
Hmm.
storage backup. Most games that I have are cloud save enabled or whatever, but if like I'm using like custom mods for like Skyrim or The Sims or something like that, like I have a pretty curated list of mods that I sort of like to keep. So every once in a while, when the mood strikes me, I make sure that that's backed up. But I basically treat every machine in my house as like ephemeral because I mean, God, how many times a year do I have my computer in pieces, right? Like, I
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Yeah,
We live very different
we
lifestyles with our
really do.
computers.
And like my work computer, like when I switched from my old Mac to my new Mac, that was a very easy transition for me because all of my important work documents are saved to OneDrive. All of
Yeah.
my code is in repositories that I, make sure I push to and keep up to date.
Hmm.
Um, there were very few things. I think the only thing I backed up from that machine right before I did the switch is I backed up some SSH keys. That was it. Like I
Yeah.
didn't do anything else. And I just moved over to that machine. I pulled down the repositories that I was currently active on, the ones that were out there that I haven't touched in a while. Like they're still there and I can go get them if I need them.
Yeah.
But like I didn't have to worry about any of that. Now, it doesn't mean I don't do backups. Like I have my Synology connected to Backblaze and I use their S3 storage tier or
Yeah.
S3 storage
Yeah.
and I have the native Synology backup tool configured to write to that.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that backs up like on basically a monthly basis because there's not a lot that changes on there. Like I might, burn a movie or something and put it on there, and if it doesn't get backed up, like I still have all those DVDs. Now, eventually, like this DVD collection is going to grow again because I went through a huge purge before we moved, right? But I've since been
Yeah.
to Half Price Books a few times and picked up a couple things. Speaking of, I got a gripe about that in a minute, but
Okay.
that's my extent of it. Now, here's what I will say: I had an interesting thing happen here this week that I didn't have a backup solution for, and that is my security system.
Hmm.
Apparently, the hard drive in that device has gone bad.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so it's not recording right now. So don't be creepy and rob me. But it's not recording right now. And I have to sort of I haven't cracked open that thing yet to figure out what kind of. I just assume that there's some hard drive in there.
It's probably like one of those little like laptop, 3.25-inch drives.
I don't know, man. That thing's got some heft to it. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a full 5.25-inch drive in there.
Oh.
I have to figure out how to open that thing up and replace the hard drive and initialize it. But for that system has the ability to upload videos to like an FTP server. It's not super sophisticated. Like I can't have it automatically sync to the cloud, but I could have it write to like a VM somewhere and have that sync to like Azure or something if I really wanted it to. But that's a problem I'm going to have to solve eventually. And that security system's been rock solid. I love it. I still recommend it, but that hard drive lasted, let's see.
Yeah, it hasn't been very long.
About a year and a half,
Oof.
buddy. Now, I had it set to record in 4K. It's recording all the time, so the hard drive's busy. The hard drive filled up pretty quick, and it when the hard drive fills up, it puts a warning on the dashboard that it's hey, I'm out of space, so I'm overwriting old recordings. But it's even still recording at 4K with the capacity that it had. I still had a month worth of recordings.
It still seems awful quick.
It was very quick. So I don't know if it was just the brand of hard drive that's in there, but I'm gonna that's one of my vacation tasks is to crack that thing open and figure out if I need to replace the hard drive or should I just get a different unit that's maybe more reliable. I don't know, but that's something I need to figure out.
Again, I'm gonna put a link in here. So Backblaze publishes I think every quarter.
Oh yeah.
Hard drive reliability stats, and they tell you exactly how many hard drives of what the model numbers and how many they bought and how long they usually last. So yeah, there you go. You guys, if you're looking for a good hard drive that's big capacity, it's gonna last a long time, I think Backblaze will tell you what to buy.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. More follow-up. So last show I talked about finding a new case for my iPhone. That case has arrived.
And
it's fine.
Oh, okay. I'm taking it on my wish list then.
Well, I mean, it's not. No. It's let me be clear. It is a perfectly fine case. There is one thing about this case that I think only applies to Drew that makes me not like it. Okay. So you remember the old Apple bumper cases?
Yeah.
That if you're looking at this thing screen on, if you're holding it to your face and you're looking at it, it looks like it looks like a purple bumper. The buttons are black and the back of the case is translucent, but because the back of this phone, the purple is very deep purple, and the case is translucent, it doesn't look as good as I was gonna hope. It's fine, it's a perfectly fine case, and it still has the MagSafe circle and line on it, right? And then it has the cutout for the camera lenses, and there's a raised portion on the back of the case that when you set the phone down, the lenses aren't touching the hard surface. It keeps the lenses off the counter.
Yeah.
And for $30, I think it's a very good case. I think it's a very good looking case. It feels pretty sturdy. It doesn't feel like cheap rubber or anything. It actually is a really nice case. I like it. Here's the problem I have with it. I don't use Qi charging except for one place. My car.
Okay.
And in order for it to work, the case has to lay flat.
Oh.
And it doesn't. Now,
yeah,
interesting.
Okay.
If I take the phone and I put it in the wireless charging tray, the little blue light on my charging tray in my car lights up. It sees that there's a MagSafe thing there, and I think part of the ring touches the charging pad, but there's no way that baby's got a good seal.
Yeah.
That is now, if I had a regular Qi charger, like if I had a little circular charger on my desk, I think I could lay it on there and it would
Mhm.
still charge because like that camera piece can kind of hang over the end.
Yeah, but like cars are usually like, here's this flat spot in the thing you
Yes.
can lay your phone on.
Right.
Y- yeah. But that's the reason I don't use the Qi charger in my car, because it was just so unreliable with like camera bumps getting bigger in
Yes.
cases. I can never get a good seal, so I turn that shit off.
Yeah. Now, interestingly enough, the only cases that I've seen, like if I wanted a thicker case
Hmm.
where the back of the case was like not flush, but like didn't have this extra jutty out little like
Hmm.
thing, it wouldn't be an issue. Now, I haven't been I very rarely charge my phone in the car because one, I'm not in there for extended period of time where I need to, and I don't know, like my wireless charger is like how do I describe this? Like there's a center console and then there's my two cup holders and it's like on the other side of the cup holders. So like if I'm in there with Mandy or like I have a drink in there, like it's back, behind it and like out of sight, out of
Hmm.
mind. Now my car is very helpful and it'll chime when you get out of the car or when you turn the car off saying, "Hey, you have a device in your wireless tray," which is pretty
Okay,
nice.
that's nice.
But honestly, it gets really hot. It doesn't seem to charge all that fast. So I have a like my car has USB-C ports, which is bonkers wild.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I can plug I have a cable plugged in and if I really need to charge it, I just plug it into that. So like it's not the end of the world for me, but it is odd. And it makes me maybe think that I want a case where that's more flush, but I gotta say, like it's a perfectly fine case. Now here's the other thing that's interesting. This one's purple,
Hmm.
but when I opened the box for the case, it came with extra buttons. It
Oh.
came with extra volume up, volume down, and lock buttons. It came with an orange set and a green set.
Hmm.
And I was tempted to maybe put the orange on and see how, or maybe the green
Yeah.
to see how it looks, but I kept the black. If I had gotten a different color phone in case, maybe I would switch it out. But I thought that was a nice touch that they gave you that.
Yeah, it's nice. I
Yeah.
think I would have gone with the orange personally.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't take it off
Yeah.
your wish list. I
Yeah.
truly
Okay.
wouldn't. I mean, I don't want you
Okay.
to think that I'm not unhappy with this case because I think for $30, it's one of the better of the bunch of the glut of cases you can find.
Right. Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
it's sturdy. Like I like it. The back plastic, I mean, because I'm a greasy dude, like sometimes I see
Hmm.
fingerprints, but otherwise it's fine. I mean, I think I would see fingerprints on anything but a leather case, quite frankly. So, that's a solid recommend for me.
Okay. Cool.
Um yeah, a couple other things.
Hmm.
Well, since we're on the topic, I'm just going to rearrange this real quick. So, tell me
Okay.
about 16.2 and the always on display.
Yeah. So, in iOS 16.2, which came out earlier this week, uh, they added a feature. So if you go into like settings, I think it's display. Yeah, display and brightness, always on display. Now you can turn off the wallpaper when the phone is locked.
Okay, wait. Okay, hold on. I'm going there now. Tell me where to go
Hmm.
again.
Okay. Okay. So settings,
Yep.
display and brightness.
Display and brightness. Got it.
Okay. Now scroll down. There's a little like link for always on display.
I must not have the update because I just have always on toggle.
Okay, yeah. So if you don't have 16.2, when you have 16.2, that opens up like another like little sub menu where you can turn on and off the always on display. So I have the always on display on, but I've turned off show wall. There's like an option for show wallpaper and show notifications. So I've turned off show wallpaper. So like when my phone is locked, it's just a black screen with like the time and the widgets on there. Notifications still pop up. So I guess it looks more like an Android phone, but and if I touch the glass, the wallpaper shows up and it looks nice. It just, like ha- having that thing always have the wallpaper on there just was too distracting for me, and I think this is just a perfect little compromise of still having that always on display but not having it so
We
meh.
Yeah, we talked about this last show and I'm very close to turning that feature off.
Yeah, so I would update to 16.2 and turn off the show wallpaper. You could even turn off notifications if you don't want those. That way, it's basically just like the time and a black screen, which I think, like
Well, I
again,
like
it
that.
looks like every Android phone that's out there now that has an always on display. But I think they figured it out. I think that's the way to do it. Like,
Well,
yeah,
I like my phone to tell me when I have a waiting notification,
yeah, okay,
but the always on display, it really fucks with me because it's always just
yeah,
and like if I get a notification, okay, here's the other thing that really fucks me up though, because like I get a notification
hmm,
and maybe I'll like unlock my phone with my face, which I still can't believe we live in a world where I can do that, but
hmm,
and I look at the notification. Maybe it's Gmail, maybe it's a text message. I don't want to acknowledge it right away. So I sort of just let it sit. When the phone goes back to the always on display, it still shows that notification.
yeah,
I
yep,
hate that. I hate
yeah,
that. Like, ugh. I know. It's on me. It's a me problem. I should acknowledge the notification and move on. But it's so distracting. I'm very close to turning it off. But I will try this new method.
yeah, yeah.
More technology news. Have you noticed how hard it is to find a Raspberry Pi these days?
I know because I haven't been in the market for a Raspberry Pi.
I have been in the market for a Raspberry Pi for some time, and apparently they are still very supply
Really,
chain constrained. Yeah,
really,
yeah. I mean, when you go to Micro Center as much as me, I mean, there was a time where they just had stacks on stacks on stacks of these things,
yeah, yeah.
but they're still really hard to find. And I read an article. Where did I see that? I meant to put it in the show notes. Uh,
People have made trackers for them. Wow.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Supply chain update. It's good news. This was 6 days ago on the official Raspberry Pi blog.
Hmm.
Take a look at this. I just thought
Okay.
this was pretty interesting. That of all the things that are still hard to get, that this is one of them.
Hmm.
But yeah, I've been in the market to upgrade because my Pi hole is still running on a Raspberry Pi 3, and like
Okay.
I have everything else I need to upgrade to a 4, except the Raspberry Pi. Like I have a nice case and like
Got
I
it.
have a new
Yep.
memory card and like it's all formatted and ready to go. And like every time I'm in Micro Center, I sort of just peek over in the maker section to see if they have any. And yeah, but apparently the Raspberry Pi suppliers have been hit very very hard with like semiconductor stuff.
Yeah.
And like when you do find a Raspberry Pi, a lot of times Raspberry Pi Zeros are the ones that people get in, but I want the full size board.
Right. Right.
But it looks like they also said that the cost is going to go up for anywhere from like $5 to $10 a board, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when these things are not that expensive to begin with, that's actually a pretty
Exactly.
sizable
That's
hike.
yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Yep. So
I think the one I have one Raspberry Pi doing some work, and I think it's a 4.
oh yeah, what do you use it for?
Homebridge.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep.
When's the last
Yep.
time you updated that guy?
I upgrade the Homebridge software by once a month.
What OS is running? Is Homebridge like the whole package, like OS and everything?
That's what I chose to do
Okay.
simply because that's the only thing I wanted to use it for. Uh, but you can like just run it individually, like install it yourself.
Yeah, like my Pi
Yeah.
hole. I think you can do that with Pi. You can download a ready-made Pi hole image too.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I had to go through a thing with mine where my version of Raspbian, I guess my Raspberry Pi 3 model was so old that I wasn't able to like automatically update it. I had to like I had to flash it. I had to flash
Oh,
with a whole new version of the OS, like the new version of the OS, and reinstall the Raspberry Pi. Like I had to back up my database and everything. Like that was a fun evening. But I mean, that's kind of the life you live when you're me, I guess.
yeah.
Okay, last topic before we get to the fun stuff.
Hmm.
I've been having to go to the doctor.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I don't go to the doctor very much.
Uh-huh.
And I think we talked. Did we talk about this last show?
You mentioned you were going to the doctor for like, yeah, a physical and stuff.
Yeah.
Or
So I had
yeah.
that. I had that last week after we recorded, and then I had a couple appointments between now and then, and I'm not done yet.
Hmm.
I had to go get a couple things looked at. So one was a physical, and I'm gonna be turning 43 in a couple weeks, so I'm getting up there,
Mhm.
and I've gained about 10 or 15 pounds over like the past 6 to 8 months.
Mm.
Yeah, which is really troubling to me because like fundamentally there hasn't been much in my daily life that has changed. Outside of some work trips and things, my diet is very consistent. I'm pretty consistent at the gym. Um so, things were going good, and then I started to gain some weight, and I didn't think anything of it, but through the various check-ins and things that I've had with my coach and everything, like it's not going well.
Hmm.
And, I'm willing to take responsibility for a lot of that, but I don't understand why I'm in the place that I'm at. And I will say that, performance wise, like in the gym and everything, like I'm still performing very well. Like my personal best on my lifts have gone up. Like I'm very pleased with how my performance is, but my weight and my appearance is not where I want it to be. So I decided that, hey, maybe it's age, maybe there's something else going on. So I just want to go get checked out, make sure there's nothing wrong. So I had that appointment with my doctor and talked through some things. And oh, that's right, we did talk about this because he offered me that
Yeah.
that
That
$1,000 a
magic
month shot.
pill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had a bunch of tests done. And then I had to go. Get a blood draw and everything. And I'm still waiting on the test results of that. There's a couple things that it could be from not so big of a deal to kind of a bigger deal. So like they're thinking maybe it could be like low testosterone and like my body slowing down at my age. Um, which yeah, I don't know if I buy that or not, but I'm willing to play that string out. But it could also be like thyroid or something
Yeah.
that's acting up. So fingers crossed. I mean, I should know something. I think they said it takes like 3 to 5 days. I mean, in normal times, I mean, it's like the holiday week, so who knows?
Right.
So I'm hoping to get some news back in a few weeks with what's going on there. So stay tuned there. And then I also went to a dermatologist.
Mm.
And I haven't been to a dermatologist in probably a decade. Those of you that have seen me and met me in person know that I'm a very, very fair and pale boy. So I have to be very, very careful with my skin. I don't think things like melanoma or anything like that runs in my family. But I do have to be very careful. Like in the summer, Mandy bought me a nice big floppy hat to work in the yard with because I don't
I
have
love it.
because I don't have
I love it.
hair, right?
I love it. I love it.
And I just needed to get like some moles and some things checked out. And then I've had this thing on my foot. Here's what happened. So when I was younger, I think I was probably 12 or 13 years old. I had a plantar's wart on my foot.
Okay.
And I'll never forget, we went to a podiatrist and they looked at it and they said, yep, that's a plantar's wart. It's going to have to come out. And I remember that they had to put a shot in the bottom of my foot and then they cut it out and then they cauterized it. Now I'm a big baby. Like I am a pain wimp. I cannot handle shit like that. Mm-hmm. And I remember my mom and my dad had to hold me down in the doctor's office so they could put that shot in my foot. Once my foot was numb, like I could feel them digging it out and and then the smell of the cauterization.
Gross.
It was very gross and my foot hurt for like days. And I still have a big scar on the bottom of my foot. It was like the size of what would I'm looking around to see if I have anything. I want to say it was about the size of like an eraser head that they had to cut out of my foot. So
it's good size if you're a kid.
Pretty decent chunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
So ever since then, right, I've never wanted to relive that. So I'm constantly like looking at my feet and make sure I'm not like doing that because like, when I was in high school, when I was in college, like I took showers without wearing flip-flops and shit like that. And like, that's how that shit happens. Mm-hmm. So I've been just very like cognizant of that. Well, a couple of years ago, I had this spot on my foot. Okay. And it's this thing that like, it's like this raised sort of hard thing. And it's in a very weird place on my foot. Like if you were to look at your foot, it is like, if you're looking at your big toe, mm-hmm. It's sort of just south of my big toe, like on that like pad, like I don't know, like maybe like an inch or so below my big toe, like underneath my heel. Now my plantar's wart that they took out was very close to this spot actually. Like when they cut out my plantar's wart, my scar is like, if you're looking at your big toe, like if you were to take your big toe and like bend it towards you, you know how like you get those couple folds right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My plantar's wart was like in there. Oh. Yeah. So like I look at this thing and where it is, and I'm like, God, I really hope that's not a plantar's wart. But like it hasn't grown. Like it just has this like rough spot. And at first I just thought maybe it was a calic from like working out or running or playing hockey or something like that.
Mhm.
But it does get a little tender and painful sometimes. And I was like, well, maybe it's a corn. So like I tried some over the counter stuff, it didn't go away. I got drunk and brave one night, and like I boiled a razor blade and started cutting it out. Um, I s- I scraped a lot of it out till there was blood everywhere. Yeah, I'm a weirdo.
You're making me uncomfortable.
But here's the thing. I would like shave it down, and I even bought like a corn remover tool. Okay, I'll stop. But but the basic thing is I would sort of shave it down and it would go away, but it keeps coming back. So I was like, fuck it. I'm going to go get this looked at. So I went to a dermatologist on Friday. We're recording this on a Saturday. So I went there yesterday. And like, I put the reason for the visit was my foot. And like, well, back up. I was sort of split of whether or not I should go to a dermatologist or if I should go to a podiatrist. I opted for the dermatologist first because what I don't want this to be is not a corn and also not a plantar's wart. Right? If it is some sort of skin cancer or something related, how it would end up on my foot, I have no idea. But I didn't want this to be something that was like the podiatrist was going to say, yeah, that's a dermatology problem versus a dermatologist saying, yeah, it's a corn, just suck it up.
Yeah.
So I went to the dermatologist, and I also had like them give me like the once over on my skin. And like, I have like a mole on the top of my head that when I had hair, you couldn't see. And I've got like moles on my neck and like under my arms and stuff. I'm just a gross person, but I wanted her to check all that stuff out. I wanted like the full checkup. And then I was talking about my foot, and she looked at it. She goes, yeah, that's a corn. She goes, I could shave it down for you if you want, or a podiatrist can probably give you like better prescriptive medicine to get rid of it. So she gave me like a cream that I can like put on it because the over the counter stuff, I don't think is strong enough to get rid of it. So like I have to like put this cream on it and then get like a pumice stone and like grind it down. But I think it's something that's probably going to keep coming back.
Yeah.
But like I just don't know how I'm getting them because like I have calics on my feet from like hockey and running and working out. I'm just not sure where the hell this one came from. So that's your gross foot update for this week, I guess. But yeah, between that and my other doctor's appointments, yeah. Man, when I was a kid and I had to have that done, it hurt so bad.
Oh, I can't imagine. My daughter's had some like warts on her hands and stuff that she's had to get like various things injected into and like frozen off and ugh.
I'm not here for that, man. I don't like getting shots. I don't, what's funny though is I used to give blood on the regs, and like I don't mind that as long as I can look away. And once the needles in it isn't that uncomfortable. But like getting a shot like in my hand or in my foot, like ugh, no.
Yeah, I don't give blood anymore because I become a burden on those poor people. I don't do well with needles or stuff like that. Like
I've only passed out once. I've only passed out once from giving blood.
Yeah, like I understand like the need for blood and like conceptually it's something that I would do. There we go. Jeez, my headphone cable's acting flaky. It's time to replace it. And I moved it, and of course, like it just stopped like giving audio. I'm having all kinds of audio problems.
Yeah, you're
today.
just having a rough night there.
I'm a hot mess. I'm a hot mess today.
Yeah.
But whenever I go to give blood, like it's always one of those like, "Are you okay, sir?" I'm like, "No." It's like, "Yeah, why don't you drink some orange juice?
Can I have some Oreos?"
Yeah. So, yeah, I just stopped going because they don't need that in their life.
Yeah, I passed out once.
Yeah.
I passed out once doing it, and I think it's because I hadn't eaten enough that day.
Yeah.
And then there was that one time. I'm pretty sure you and I worked together when this happened. I gave blood, and I had like that weird like track up my arm.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? I don't know what happened there. Somebody had one of the phlebotomists had a rough day, and I had like those weird like tracks under my arms. That was wild. I thought I was gonna die. I call it like it didn't go away in a day, and I called the Red Cross, and they're like, go to the.
Yeah.
It was like exactly. I had like if you look at your arm, you can probably see like the veins under your arms, right? Well, this was like these thick dark red, like crimson tracks all along my forearm and almost up my bicep. It looked like what was that movie where someone like gets injected with something and you can like kind of see it going up their veins? That's what it looked like. It was so
Yeah.
gross. But I just think I think they missed, and I think I was like bleeding internally for a little while.
Yeah, that happens. That happens.
Yeah.
And that stuff is so much, even like giving blood, it's so dependent on the person sticking you with the needle and their skill level and like what kind of day they're having. And
Well, did I ever tell you the
Yeah.
time? Did I ever tell you the time that I had to have an IV in an ambulance?
No, I don't think so.
I never told you. I've told a lot of people
Maybe.
this story. Well, this is a funny story, and this is something that Mandy I think would appreciate too. So,
Mhm.
Mandy and I had been dating for I don't know about 2 months, and I
Mhm.
was playing hockey in an adult rec league here. And this was before I met you. This was like when I was working my first job in Ohio. This is like early 2000s. I joined an adult hockey league and I was playing hockey. And when I first started playing hockey, because I was poor, I was using a lot of my dad's old hockey equipment. And one of the things that he let me use was his old hockey trousers. Now my dad's a heavier guy, and we're definitely not the same size. So these were pretty big on me. Even if I adjusted the straps and the laces and everything, like I look like I did not look proportionate on the ice
Mhm.
with these things. So we were playing hockey and I fell. I didn't get checked. I didn't get pushed. Like I wasn't making a play. Like I just fell. But when I fell straight back like onto my tailbone. And because these trousers were so big, like
Mm.
they were just not in the right place and I fell and I hit the ice. And when I hit the ice, I could not feel my legs.
Oh, that's
And
not
I had a
good.
moment of panic. Like I couldn't move. So
Yeah.
like you know, people saw me fall, but then when I didn't get up like away from the play, like the ref blew the whistle and they skated over and they're like, "You all right?" And I go, "I can't feel my legs," which is like, which if you say that in a hockey
One
rink,
ambulance, please.
yeah, if you say that in a hockey rink, like you win the special prize where the ambulance gets to drive on the ice.
Uh-huh.
So the crew came and like they brought the board and like they had to cut
Mm.
away all my equipment. So it was like all my hockey equipment was like ruined because they had to like cut it away. They put me on the stretcher and they loaded me in the ambulance and they started driving me towards the hospital. Well, from the time they put me on the board to in the hospital, I started to get feeling back in my left leg, not in my right leg. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I'm not a medical expert, but I thought I fell and I hit my tailbone and I thought, okay, this is probably just me had like a stinger or something. Like I don't
Yeah, I
know.
was gonna say, yeah, you got a stinger. That's what
Yeah.
they call it, stinger.
But we're in the ambulance and the ambulance guys are like, "Hey, do you mind if we start an IV?" And I'm like, "Guys, I'm starting to get some feeling back. Is that really necessary?" And they're like, "Look, they're going to give you one at the hospital, but we're better at it."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Okay, I admire that confidence." So, I'm like laying there and they like start to put the IV in and the one guy goes, "Is there anybody you need to call?" Because they literally loaded me up from the ice. I don't have my car keys. I don't have my wallet. I have nothing. Right
Oh yeah, yeah.
now, a teammate of mine, my uncle, was also playing, and he was going to come check on me. Um, but the person that I thought to call was Mandy,
Yeah.
because like I didn't have any other family nearby, and she and I were dating, and I'm like, we've been going out for a while. I didn't think this was an inappropriate call to make. So I called her, and she answers the phone, and I go, "Hey, by the way, this is like at 10:30 at night,
Mhm.
right? Because
Okay,
you
yeah.
played in these
Yeah,
leagues, like
yeah,
they're
yeah.
late night games." I called her, and I said, "Hey, guess where I'm calling you from?"
Surprise.
And she goes, "Where?" And I said, "An ambulance." And she goes, "What?" And I say hi, everybody. And like all the paramedics said hi. And we're in the ambulance and I'm talking to
Oh.
her and I'm explaining to her, like, "Hey, I got hurt at hockey. They're taking me to this hospital. Can you like, call my uncle or call these people and tell them to like come bring me like my wallet and my keys and like I'll get my car at the chiller, like or the ice rink whenever I can."
Mhm.
And she's like, "Sure." And like I'm talking to her and like telling her I'm gonna be okay or whatever. And the one guy like taps me on the shoulder. He goes, "Hey, um, can you hang up the phone, please? You're bleeding everywhere." And I look over and there's blood all over my arm.
Oh
Well,
shit.
I talk with my arms, and apparently, as I was explaining what was happening, I
Oh.
was moving my arm as they were trying to put an IV in. And I was like, I was like, Mandy, I gotta go. I'm bleeding all over the ambulance, and I hung up. Yeah, and then I got to the hospital and they gave me like morphine and they did like a bunch of X-rays and I was fine. Like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Like I was in a lot of pain. Like they gave me some pain pills and sent me home and like I took a couple days off of work because I was just like it was really hard for me to like move around. Like I really hurt myself. But she was less than pleased about that. But anyway,
I can see that.
Sort of ties back to the story.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Oh, that's funny, man. Woof.
Yeah. All right. So, it is December 17th.
It is.
Every year we do a gift exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're technically a week early, but it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So why don't you explain the annual Christmas edition? I mean, for newer listeners that maybe haven't been with us from the start.
Yeah, so what we usually do is we do something for each other for Christmas. Usually it involves buying gifts. We've had to set rules over the past because apparently I did something stupid.
No.
And Drew likes to think that like there's people who win and lose, and it's not. It's just about giving gifts to each other. This year we decided to do something different, and instead of buying something for the other person, because we're at that point of our lives we just buy shit when we want it, we decided to donate to a charity in the other person's honor on behalf of the other person. Yep, that's a good description.
That's what we decided to do this year. Now again, quick recap. Year one, Paul got me a beautiful mesh wireless system that I still use, and I got him a denim jacket.
Yes, my battle jacket.
Battle jacket. What was year two?
Year two. This is year 4, right?
This is year 4, buddy. We've done this for 4 fucking years.
What was year 2? Shit.
Year 2 was I bought you tickets to a concert that we never got to go to because of
and then I probably bought you that was when I got you the phone stand and the charger.
I think so.
Okay.
And then last year, no. What did you get me that year?
I think so because one year it was comics.
Comics was year 2.
Okay, comics was year 2. Okay.
Year 3, you got me phone stand and stuff, and I got you the behemoth sign.
Yep.
So this year we decided to say, you know what, we're not gonna make this a competition because Drew's tired of losing, and we were gonna do charity donations. So before we dive into this, I did 2 donations. We set a cap at $100. I did 2 donations in your name.
Okay.
And I'm trying to decide which one I want to tell you about first.
Okay. What? So I'm hold on. I'm just because I was going to send you an email. So
yeah, I put your name for these, but my email, and I will forward you the receipts.
Okay. I'm doing the opposite.
Okay.
Well, okay. You'll see when you get the email. Okay. Yep. Okay.
Well, go ahead.
No, you first.
Okay.
Or I can go first if you want.
No, I'll do the one that I think you're going to appreciate more first.
Okay.
So in the past, we've talked about charitable causes on this show. And I know that you are a big proponent of the Ronald McDonald House.
Always.
Yep. So the first donation that I made, and let me see if it actually has the details in the email, because I did get an email from them. Hang on. Yes. So I made a $50 donation in your name on behalf of Zach.
Oh, nice. Okay.
To the Ronald McDonald House for $52.08.
Okay.
Because you can also include the cost of credit card processing in your donation.
Yep. Yeah, you got to do that, right? He's got to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I did how did that work? So when you go to the Ronald McDonald House and you go to make a donation, tell me if I did this right. So you can give. I funded the Hero of the House program.
Okay.
Which apparently there are 3 different programs you can fund. So Hero of the House is you basically fund the accommodations for the families of the people who are getting treated.
Okay. Yep.
There's also Hero of the Care Mobile, which the care comes to the families and the kids who need it.
Oh.
And then there's also Hero of the Family Room, which I didn't really understand that one.
They in a lot of hospitals they'll put in what's called a family room, which is it's a room in the hospital where, like, if you're adult and you need to do laundry or like sit in some place where there's not constant beeping.
Oh yeah.
It's just a nice place. Yeah, it's a nice place. Or you can make a phone call or do some work or watch some television. But yeah, the family rooms in hospitals. Yeah, and I guess it's more common in like children's hospitals. But yeah, Ronald McDonald will sponsor those and put those in various hospitals. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna forward you this one.
Okay.
Although it doesn't say on behalf of Zach.
It's okay. It's I know it in my heart.
Yeah. It's weird. Like I was able to do on behalf of, which is weird.
Mhm.
But yeah, so that one's coming to you now. So I'll
Okay.
wait to do the next one. So you go ahead and do yours.
Okay, so I was dude, I did so much. I did so much just looking around and doing different stuff. And I kept coming back to dog related charities.
Okay.
Because we know we love dogs.
Yep.
And there was one in particular when I was reading the About Us page and I started to cry.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll cry on air. Go ahead. Let's go.
That I knew that this was kind of the one for me. So I made a $100 donation to the Gray Muzzle organization.
Okay. Hold on. I got to put stuff in show notes here. So Ronald McDonald House, and then what was it yours?
Gray Muzzle.
Gray Muzzle. Okay.
Gray Muzzle.
Tell me about this.
So what they do is here is their vision statement. We envision a world where every senior dog thrives and no old dog dies alone and afraid.
Aww. Okay,
So-
well, I'm already starting to cry. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So this is an organization that basically helps senior dogs. They help them in lots of ways, keep them out of like kill shelters. If there is like an older person, as people get older, that they do grants to help dogs stay with their owner as they get older, instead of having to go to like a shelter. Because like a lot of times, older dogs require older special care, and some people can't afford that, so they end up in shelters. So this helps keep the dogs in their home, or if they end up in the shelters, they stay out of kill shelters. They give grants to organizations that support their kind of mission. So yeah, it just kind of really like hit me right in the feels.
I just had to close the browser because I am literally going to bawl my eyes out. So there's a page where you can meet the dogs that have been helped.
Yeah.
God damn. Ugh.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And I was going through this and I was like, oh, this is so sad. And like, yep, this is it. This is the one for me.
Buddy.
So I don't know if you got the email yet, but hopefully you'll get it soon. Or
I haven't yet.
Okay. All right.
But it's coming.
Okay, yeah, it'll definitely be there. I just got mine. Yeah, $103.30 because I covered the thing, and I did it in honor of you. So hopefully you'll get that message soon. Yeah,
man,
yeah,
I love dogs.
I do too. And like this one, just when I saw it, I was just like, oh yeah, this is it, man. Like
Peanut, how we helped.
Yeah,
Peanut was surrendered to a vet's office for euthanasia because, quote, he was old.
Mm-hmm.
People are the worst.
Yeah.
And Peanut's so cute.
Yeah, there's lots of
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't with the, I have to close. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do this with you right now. I just can't with you right now.
It's a great charity. I was just really impressed and stuff. And I did some research, and like they have like the platinum level, because some charities, like most of the money goes to like administration costs and very little goes to the actual charity. This one's like the opposite. Like your money goes to help dogs, and
yeah. You get me, buddy.
Yeah. So I just, this one hit me right in the feels. I'm like, yep, this is the one.
Got it.
Oh,
okay. Paul, I want you to close your eyes.
Okay.
I want you to think about an organization that puts a smile on so many kids' faces.
Okay.
An organization that through...
It's not about clowns, is it?
No, that's a good one. No.
Okay.
A family entertainment icon for well over 70 years.
Oh no.
Who springs to your mind?
You didn't do like a Charlie Brown thing, did you?
So there's been a donation in your name to the Charles M. Schulz Museum in the amount of $50 and under Dr. Paul Baylor. I did not use your email address, but I did use your home address. So I expect you to get some things in the mail.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I can't take credit for this idea. This is definitely Mandy's idea, but they do. So, okay, I know you're not the biggest fan of Snoopy and the Peanuts gang and all that stuff, but they actually do some pretty cool stuff. So the Charles M. Schulz Museum, real quick, is they have a couple different things. They have like the museum that also, they preserve like Charles M. Schulz comic strips and artwork and things like that. But they also have like some kids programs where they can bring kids in and like teach them about the arts and stuff like that. So I thought it was a pretty cool organization. And, it's funny because I know you don't like Snoopy that much. My wife takes great personal offense to that.
It's not funny. Never has been funny.
I don't think it's about being funny.
Okay. But I guess maybe, okay.
But yeah. So you can donate to the museum, and there's 3 different ways you can give. You can give to the education, which again, those are innovative programs to, basically help kids be creative, which is cool. The conservation fund, which old comic strips and old artwork to making sure they're preserved and part of the museum. And then, the one in your name is to the museum fund, which if you do want to go there, you can.
I do not.
Okay, I didn't think you did.
Yep.
And plus it's in California, so.
Okay. Yeah.
But anyway, that was an idea that was proposed to me, and I do think it is legitimately a good cause.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I grew up reading a lot of Peanuts comic strips. So and one of my favorite books, like not for nothing, one of my favorite set of books when I was growing up is I had a set of Charlie Brown encyclopedias.
Charlie Brown encyclopedia.
Yes.
Huh.
Let me see if I can get a link here. There were 15 volumes, and I think I had
15.
I think I had 14 of them.
Okay.
And these were published in like the late 70s, early 80s. And it just has a lot of cool topics and like the Peanuts gang in there. And there's like a section in there about like trains and a section in there about like flight and animals and all sorts of shit. And all illustrated by, when in the Peanuts style. I'm looking at this right now and wow, I could get the whole set for $70. Yeah, volume titles. 1, Your Body, all kinds of animals from fish to frogs, all kinds of animals from dinosaurs to elephants, cars and trains and other things that move. That's the shit. That's volume 4. Boats and other things that float, planes and other things that fly, space travel, stars and planets, the earth, weather and climate, people around the world, what we wear, holidays, machines and how they work, sound, light and air, and electricity and magnetism. And like I said, I had 1 through 14. I did not have 15 because I remember I thought I had them all, and then I was reminded that I did not. But apparently you can get these on Amazon, which I have them. Like I have my original ones. My mom gave them to me. They're not in great shape because they were in storage for a number of years, and the covers are kind of beat up and everything. But apparently you can buy these, and these were some of my favorite books growing up. And like we had the Charlie Brown audiobooks. Like a lot of the specials you saw on TV also had like a book version. And like, I remember they had like a cassette, you put the cassette in there and you could like read the book with it. I don't know. All I'm saying is like, these had like a special place in my heart growing up. So making a donation to something like this, like other than the funny part of this.
Yeah.
I just think it's a good cause. So anyway, that you have another donation in that name.
Oh, you can find them on eBay too. I'm just looking around. Yeah.
How much are they on eBay?
So there's a buy it now in good condition for $68.
It's
And
$2 cheaper.
there's various other ones that are going for like one looks like in pretty good shape, but the current bid is at $45.
Buy it now for 31. Charlie Brown Encyclopedia set. Yeah. These are them, and they're not very thick, right? They're just, I want to say they're probably 30, 40 pages deep, but I just thought they were cool.
Yeah.
So I would sort of love to have a newer set. I might actually buy this, and it looks like it comes in like a neat box. And like, this is one of these things, right? Like, if I had kids, I would absolutely have this for them. Even though like the information in there is probably horribly out of date, right? Because it's from 1980 was when the first one was published. So it's old. Yeah. Right? That is, oh God, it's almost as old as me. Oh, woof.
You just hope it's not like problematic. Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily I'm trying to think back. Like, I'd have to go look in them, but I don't think it's anything that's problematic. But I'm sure like the flight stuff and like probably the energy and magnetism one. I bet you they say some flattering things about nuclear power that I don't think we think so nice about today. But anyway, cool. Well, yeah, buddy. I thought this was a good way to do this. Maybe we have to do this again next year.
I like this. This was good.
This was good. I felt good about that.
Yeah.
Are you off Twitter?
I haven't checked Twitter in about 48 hours.
It's getting pretty gross over there, buddy.
It is. Yeah.
It might be time.
Yeah, like I use Twitterific, a third-party Twitter client. I took it off of my like, it's only in my app library on my phone, and I removed it from the docs from all of my computers, because usually like Twitter was always open.
Yeah.
And I caught myself opening the app once, and I immediately just closed it. I didn't look at anything. It was kind of funny because I totally like missed the fact that there was a Blue Jackets hockey game on today because I wasn't on Twitter.
Yeah.
But I haven't checked it for 48 hours, and I haven't died yet. So
we're about to wrap up. Where do we want to tell people to find us?
I think I'm just going to send people to the website, doingtheirbest.com.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
But have you like switched over to Mastodon?
I have a Mastodon account. I really don't use it.
Well, okay, let me ask it this way. Mm-hmm. If you'd been on Mastodon today, would you have seen that there was a Blue Jackets game?
No.
The Blue Jackets don't post anything to Mastodon.
I haven't. If they do, I don't know what their account is.
Okay. Then I think that your idea is good. Let's just point people to the website. Is there a contact form there? There's an email, right?
There's an email address in there you can do that sends an email.
All right. Yeah, because I think I'm getting pretty close to being done with it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, it's getting bad.
Okay. Well, let's take that for a spin.
Yeah. Hey, you can find us on the internet doingtheirbest.com. Ta-da!
That's it.
That's it.
Go on there, send us a website, send us feedback.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to tell people to flock to something like Mastodon. I'm certainly not going to tell you to find us on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll make a Mastodon account for the website or something, just see if I can like figure out a way to automatically post episodes onto that. But
I haven't even set up a Mastodon account yet.
Yeah, the hard part is just figuring out what server to join, because like all the cool ones aren't taking people now. So
right. But I do feel like a lot of people are leaving Twitter for Matt. Well, a lot of people are leaving Twitter. I don't think many. How do I put this? Some people I know have put their Mastodon link in their profile, and there are open source tools that if somebody has put their Mastodon account, it can scan it, and like you can find people on Mastodon using that.
Yes.
But a lot of the people that I regularly interact with have just left Twitter and have gone to just posting to Instagram.
Yeah.
And they still post, like they still have like bots that will tweet some of their stuff to Twitter, but they're also posting to LinkedIn and places like that. Oh, we should go to LinkedIn. Okay, that was a
No,
joke.
it's the worst.
It's pretty bad.
Actually, no, Facebook is the worst.
Yeah, Facebook's pretty bad.
Yeah, I just
And like, you can't really put a podcast on Instagram.
no.
Yeah, and like a lot of our listeners, I don't know if they would even want to go to Mastodon or even know what Mastodon is.
That's the thing. It's just so like tell somebody, hey, make a Mastodon account, and they're like, well, website, well, where do I go to sign up? And you're like,
is that
well,
like Twitter?
here's the thing. You have to figure out what server you want to join, and then they're like, what? I'm out.
Yeah.
So there's like, what? I signed up for a Hive account, but I haven't really done anything.
Oh,
with that.
didn't they have a problem?
They had a little bit of an oopsie, yeah, and they showed everything. I mean, yeah. They had a little bit of an oopsie,
Mm-hmm.
and they had to,
They had to shut everything down, right?
Yeah.
Woof.
Oh, it's just
all right.
I just wish he wasn't a big piece of shit. That's what I wish.
Yeah, that's asking a lot.
I know it is.
Yeah, so let's just go to the website doingtheirbest.com.
Mm-hmm.
Go over there and yell at us
Mm-hmm.
until we figure out or if people legitimately start going to other social media outlets that we can direct people to. I think that's probably going to be the best bet for now.
I think so too.
But send us an email. Tell us how cool we are, how terrible we are.
Something like that.
Yep.
Oh, all right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Oh.